This experience happened when I was 12 years old, and although it's been 41 years, it feels like it happened yesterday. My uncle was a professional baseball player, and I looked up to him from a very young age, and I wanted to be a professional baseball player when I grew up. My uncle was not very far from our house and would come to our house often. It was a weekend and the weather was very, very nice, and I remember there was a cloud in the sky. Other than that, the day was perfect. I went to play baseball with my brother and my uncle. We arrived at the practice field and I was very excited because it had been a long time since I had played ball with my uncle. After playing for about an hour, we heard thunder, and I thought as long as there was no lightning, we would be fine. As I was playing, I felt it start to drizzle, and we decided to play a little longer, this time with my brother as the pitcher. When I was worried about the rain, I got distracted and the baseball hit me in the temple, and instantly I fell to the ground. I left my body. I could see my brother and my uncle, I could see everyone standing around me. This was in a time when there were no cell phones, so they had no way to contact anyone immediately. I saw my uncle running to get help and my brother kneeling by my body. I didn't feel any fear. Next I entered a light, and when I entered that light I was greeted by the most beautiful woman I had ever seen, who I later learned was my grandmother when she was young. She said to me, "I have been waiting for you." This was so strange. I thought to myself, why is she waiting for me? Before I could say anything, this beautiful lady knew what I was thinking. "We were waiting for you because you were lost, and I came to help you find your way again." I was surprised. "How did you know what I was thinking?" I asked. She replied, "Because in heaven, there are no secrets. We know exactly what each other is thinking." "Okay, so how do you plan to get me back on the right path?" "When you were created, you knew what kind of person you were going to be. Unfortunately, you have lost your way." At that time I did not know that she was my grandmother, whom I called my guide, and she revealed that if souls are lost, they will not find their way home, and that near-death experiences are God's way of helping them. Some souls do choose to stay in heaven and give up their life on earth for a while. Some souls choose to return to earth to continue their lives and return to their families. She says, "The Father loves all His children and wants them all to accomplish what they promised. He does not criticize them or feel angry if they do not succeed the first time." You say I've lost my way. Then what do I need to do next? In order for you to find your way, you have to talk to the Father. You mean I have to talk to God? Shouldn't He be busy? The wizard told me to follow her, and she led me up a huge staircase where I couldn't see God, but I could hear His voice. He called out my name and then welcomed me by name. I was still amazed that God knew my name. I was told that I needed to see you so I could get back on the right path, and God asked me, "Do you remember what you approached me about earlier?" "Father, I forgot, I don't remember ever talking to you." God put His finger on my forehead. I recalled what had happened before. I once wanted to be a professional baseball player and failed in the end. Then I discussed with God that I wanted to become a priest. For a non-believer, that was a little crazy. I gasped and said, "I know what I should do now. I'm ready to go back." God said, "I will give you a chance too. If you feel that this life is a failure now, you can also stay, and you can try again later to return to live on earth. If I stay, what will happen to my family? Your family will be here to reunite with you, but not until after they finish their mission. I like the feeling of being here. Love is everywhere. I can't see it, but I can feel it. I'm sorry, Father, I can't leave my family on earth. So be it. When you finish your mission there will be a place for you in heaven. God says. Are you ready to go? Wizard asked. Yes, ma'am. I am ready to go. One more thing before you go, will you say hello to your mom for me and tell her I love her? How do you know my mom? I asked. The wizard didn't answer, and suddenly I was back in my body, surrounded by medical staff. What the hell is going on here? I asked the paramedics around me. It's okay, you're going to be okay. I didn't want to tell them I had talked to God. My mom parked the car on the field and immediately ran to where I was. My mom, of course, had been crying. But after she saw that I was okay, she calmed down. The angel told me to say hello and that she loved you. People around me looked at me with strange eyes as the paramedics took me to the hospital to be checked for concussions and other brain damage. The tests all came back normal. When we got home, my mom asked me about the angel. She asked me to describe her, and when I did, she was very surprised. My mom got up, went into the storage room, and half an hour later, she pulled out a picture. Is this her? My mom asked me. Yes, it was her, right down to the exact same smile. Who is she? I asked. She's your grandmother, my mother said with a sob. Then I found out that my grandmother had died 20 years before I was born. I didn't become an athlete. Later, I became a part-time chaplain. My work was completely pro bono and I would go to the hospital often and open up to some of the patients and tell them about my own experiences and get them to face illness and death in a positive way, and we were all there to do our job, and I believe near-death experiences are a way to communicate with God and get us back on the right track. God bless you.